Welcome to Minneapolis, the United States' most bicycle-friendly city, a city dominated by cars. We have 10 times more car lane miles than bike lane miles. This is the fight for just one of those miles in the heart of the Northeast Minneapolis Arts District. It has Minneapolis' only real shared streets. A typical American street is cut into single-purpose lanes. Lanes for driving, lanes for parking, lanes for walking, lanes for grass, and if there's room, lanes for bikes. If there's still room after that, lanes for more cars. Cars are the least efficient form of transportation. If you want to move lots of people with cars, you need lots of space. One of the problems and benefits with American streets is that these are dedicated lanes. Even when they're empty, they remain fixed for a single purpose. It doesn't matter how many people are on the sidewalk, for example, you can't walk in a car lane. American streets keep car lanes clear at all times so that drivers can drive confidently without worrying about encountering pedestrians. This means faster speeds, which is more dangerous, but it saves drivers time. We have paved nearly 1/3 of our city so that we can have single-purpose car lanes that are not inconvenienced by people walking in them. The next time someone says there is a housing shortage, tell them we don't have space for people because we need that space for cars.
Thank you.
Enter the shared street. Shared streets are built very simply. They are a kind of blank canvas where cars, pedestrians, bicycles, and even events all mix together. There are no lane lines and they lack curbs and sidewalks entirely, or rather, shared streets are sidewalks. These are people-first streets. A shared street is a pedestrian street where cars are allowed. There are no restrictions on where people can walk, and cars move through the space slowly. This is enforced by robust traffic calming elements like brick pavers that drivers can feel as they drive over them. Shared streets are flexible, dynamic, changing. Without boundaries, there's room for things that don't fit on a city sidewalk. Shared streets have restaurant seating spilling onto them. A shared street may not even need a barricade before it is ready for a market or a street fair. These are spaces that knit neighborhoods together. These are catalysts for community, which is a great phrase. These are spaces that bring us together. This is how American streets were originally built. Everything mixing together before cars dominated. Almost every street in Minneapolis, in the whole country, has been systematically sacrificed to the car. That's not quite fair. Our commercial streets have been made safe for the efficient flow of cars. We have organized walking and driving into separate spaces, and everything else has been effectively banned. Sidewalks are designed to keep pedestrians out of traffic. In this way, sidewalks are car infrastructure. Curbs delineate the majority of the street for the exclusive use of drivers and perpetuate car domination of our city. Sidewalks marginalize pedestrians in favor of traffic. And that's what we have now, traffic. We do have cool places to go, but most of the time, these are islands in a sea of pavement. Everything in between is designed for driving. We park as close to the door as we can, go directly to our destination, do our shopping or enjoy our meeting, and get back in the car and leave. We don't linger. It's no fun window shopping on a street that's louder than a conversation. And that's a low bar. In the US, we almost can't conceive of walkable spaces free from the threat of traffic. We vacation in old European cities to walk among their street stalls. Walkable urban farmers markets are a delightful weekend novelty in American cities, swept away by the important workday traffic. We have let cars invade everywhere. It doesn't have to be this way. Every street doesn't have to have a speed limit that makes our city loud and dangerous. We need through streets for efficient flow of traffic, but destination streets, streets that aren't meant for through traffic, can have speeds that aren't dangerous. We want a city for people, not just cars. Minneapolis still has one place left. Since the 1950s, when cars began their full takeover of American cities, the Minneapolis Public Works Department has successfully reconstructed almost every street in the city. And they finally come for the last ones. The streets of the Logan Park Industrial neighborhood are slated for reconstruction, and that means car lanes and higher speeds and sidewalks and curbs. That's what Public Works does. But this is the Arts District, jewel of the city, job generator, economic powerhouse, cultural center, heart of Art-a-Whirl. There is so much to lose. We do not want to get this wrong, like we have done with our heritage so many times in the past. Welcome to the Logan Park Industrial neighborhood, a small section of the Northeast Minneapolis Arts District, a place neglected by the Public Works Department for so long that the streets are still vibrant. These are some of the oldest streets in Minneapolis. The brick is warped, the surface is patched and uneven, the driving is terrible, and the walking is wonderful. This is what it takes to make a Minneapolis street that's great for walking. These terrible streets have become activated walkable places because of bad driving conditions. These are the streets that have given us the Arts District, one of the best assets in the city, and it's about to be reconstructed for cars. Here's a brief history of the Northeast Minneapolis Arts District. Neglected streets and rundown industrial buildings have two things artists need: high ceilings, and cheap rent. This is how the downtown warehouse district became our first arts district. That's where Northeast's artists started working. The absence of city planning for the streets and properties of the warehouse district downtown created a world-class arts district. The artists moved in, the warehouse district became cool, the rents went up, the city repaved the streets, the real estate agents renamed the neighborhood the North Loop, and the artists were moved on. That's how the Northeast Arts District was born. Northeast is the old industrial center of the city, and it's full of old beautiful brick buildings in bad shape but with high ceilings. Northeast is the warehouse district's diaspora. These are the expats, forced out of downtown. And so you can imagine the suspicion and skepticism from this community's artists and residents and businesses that what LPI really needs is better streets for cars. Had the city come along 20 years ago, maybe even just 10 years ago, and cleaned up this whole mess, maybe the arts district would never have taken hold. Maybe it would have dissolved and the diaspora evaporated. But now, decades after the warehouse district, we're right on the tipping point once again. Developers are creating artist studios and filling them up as fast as they can. Hip new restaurants and vegan ice cream have moved in. There are 3 breweries in the Logan Park Industrial neighborhood. This old industrial neighborhood becomes the epicenter of Art-a-Whirl every year, Minneapolis' biggest arts festival, which draws tens of thousands of people to Northeast. This is our Fisherman's Wharf. It is our Pike Place Market. This is Art-a-Whirl, and there's nothing else like it anywhere. And that's why Minneapolis Public Works hates it. Really. Unique streets interrupt the driving experience. Unique streets take extra work to plow. Unique streets cost a bit more to maintain. It really is the job of Public Works to make our streets boring. Boring streets are cheaper and easier to install. The problem is, they're also boring. What's wrong with boring? Well, I'll tell you. There's no reason to go to a boring street. Interesting streets are destinations. They have a draw. They have a reason for customers to dwell. Interesting streets generate sales. They power the local economy. In Minneapolis, Public Works only builds one kind of street, car streets. Traffic lanes, sidewalks, and strips of green space are the only tools in their toolbox. Shared streets are dynamic and flexible streets. These dynamic and flexible spaces give us so much more than traffic flow. This is the magic of a shared street. There is room for everything. Pedestrians and cars can share the same place. When cars move at no more than jogging speed, everyone can see everyone else and adjust. Logan Park Industrial streets are not through streets. They are destination streets. Almost everyone driving on these streets is arriving or departing a destination. On destination streets, drivers want to be going slowly. We don't need a lane for this way, a sidewalk for pedestrians, and another place for bikes, and oops, we've run out of space. We only need this kind of structure when cars are moving fast. For everything else, there's traffic calming. I have a longer article about traffic calming at recovery.bike, but briefly, traffic calming is using street design to keep drivers at slow speeds. Things like narrow lanes, reduced signage, and pinch points. Right now, LPI uses neglect to keep drivers moving slowly. Potholes, patches, and old bricks tell drivers that they are on a non-traditional city street. You can feel it when you drive these streets. The driving surface says, driving fast will hurt your car. Indeed, the shared streets in the Northeast Minneapolis Arts District are some of the safest in the city. So what makes these streets worth saving? What makes LPI so great? In a word, activation. These streets are activated from curb to curb, except without the curbs. These are vibrant streets. They are destinations. The breweries and art studios and restaurants are all destinations, of course. And they're fantastic. If you haven't been here during Art-a-Whirl, you are missing some of the best that Minneapolis has to offer. But more than this, the streets themselves are destinations. Walking out of Indeed Brewing onto bustling Quincy Street gives you a reason to stay, to stroll, to wander, to explore, to try an ice cream cone down the block, to venture into an art studio across the street. Destination streets are reasons to live in a city. Activated streets have people on them. They have human energy. They have that vibe, that je ne sais quoi. We're pack animals. We're tribal. We are biologically wired to feel safer and more comfortable around other people. So activated spaces just make us feel better. They actually make us a little happier, a little less stressed, a little more relaxed. They're like that vibrant coffee shop we love to hang out at, but with sunshine and fresh air and trees. Vibrant streets are catalysts for community. Love that phrase. This is not the same as being surrounded by people in cars. Rush hour traffic puts us amidst literally thousands of other people, but no one would call highways vibrant or bustling. When a street is dominated by traffic, cars chase people away. Drivers park as close as possible to their destinations to minimize walking. They get in and get out. They run errands and leave. Walkers travel at a speed that allows them to have a small experience at every storefront along the way. Walkers stroll. They window shop. They actually shop. They spend more money. The more time we spend in a place, the more money we spend in a place. It is the walkers, the strollers, the window shoppers that have supported these artists and these small businesses for decades. There is nothing like the Arts District in the rest of the city, or in the whole of the country. And there is nothing like LPI's shared streets in the rest of Minneapolis. They are unique because they are some of the only urban streets left that haven't been modernized for cars. The city's reconstruction plans offer the businesses, artists, and residents of the neighborhood nothing. It is a lot of money to spend removing a public asset. The city plan will make this commercial district just another street. That's what Public Works does. They want a uniform, bland street network. They want a bland city. It's their job. Minneapolis Public Works is tasked with building a uniform street grid. They have a standard street plan and they build it over and over again. Their job really is to make Minneapolis boring. Boring streets are easy to plumb and plow, they're cheap to maintain, and they deliver that consistent driving experience. They're boring. They're built for cars and utilities. Do you want to live in a boring city? Do you want to visit a consistent driving experience? Is lack of personality a quality you want from your neighborhood? Public Works doesn't want drivers entering the Arts District to even notice. This is heartbreaking. Minneapolis is one of those cities with relatively strong neighborhoods, with names and community meetings. People know what you mean when you say you live in Powderhorn or Tangletown or Logan Park. These places have personality. They have identities. They have people that care. And their quirks are what make them great. We shouldn't be scraping that away, even if it makes plowing easier on the 7 days that require plowing. That's a real number, by the way. It snows enough to plow just 7 days a year in Minneapolis. Those days suck for driving, but is it really enough to justify 365 days of boring streets? Instead, Logan Park Industrial should be held up and studied and used as a guidepost for rebuilding the rest of the city in the wake of its destruction, since urban renewal overthrew the pedestrian in order to give cars dominance over every other block in Minneapolis. The city's plan will increase car speeds on these streets. It will increase traffic. It will chase people off of these streets. It will deactivate these spaces. It will hurt the Arts District. It risks damaging the vibrant commercial ecosystem that took 100 years to form. It will impact the Art-a-Whirl festival that took a generation to build. It will change the direction of those streets and the character of this neighborhood forever. It will remove one of the reasons to visit this neighborhood and support these businesses and support the arts. It will reduce the draw, and it will certainly make it a less pleasant place to dwell. People will spend less time here, and that means they will spend less money. The Arts District is an asset. It should be preserved. It should be leveraged. We need Minneapolis to stop building car-first streets. We have enough of them. We want a more livable city, not a car city. The problem is that Minneapolis Public Works does not have the tool set to allow them to build and maintain shared streets. The city budget has a line item for asphalt and a line item for concrete. There's no line item for bricks. Therefore, the city doesn't do bricks. You can have asphalt or concrete, which is the prettiest. They build car infrastructure, that's it. We get driving lanes and parking lanes. Sidewalks and bike lanes keep people out of the car lanes. We can talk about how wide the lanes are. We cannot talk about putting people first. We don't have the tools. Of course, this is not entirely fair to the people of Public Works. They are hamstrung by what they are allowed to do with our streets. Cars come first in Minneapolis. That's just how it's done. So, we need to put more tools in the Minneapolis Public Works toolbox. The city needs to have access to people-first design. Getting them these tools only requires political will. That's it, and that's us. Our voices are the political will needed to arm Public Works with the right tools for the job. Use your voice to tell our city council and other elected officials that we value people-first infrastructure, specifically Logan Park Industrial. Write to your city council member and make sure you CC the Ward 1 city council member.